Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I'm your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your breakfast bankroll for Thursday, March 17th. Happy St. Patty's Day to everyone out there. Enjoy the madness as it officially tips off today at 12:15 East Coast time, 9:15 West Coast time. As the official bracket busters begin, Cinderellas, buzzer beaters. It's here. The playing games are done. Now it's time to get down to business. Congrats, I guess, to all Dodger fans. Freddie Freeman is yours. The rich get richer, and that lineup gets longer. Holy, and you talk about death row. I mean, Lord have mercy. I pity the weak pitching teams there. The bagman, ouch. The way we had it calculated, netted about 200,000 over the weekend and decides to put in 300,000 yesterday and get spanked as Bryant really never was in it early. Yeah, but I mean, it was right state box to wire in my eyes, but it is what it is. The ECSI family, the VIPs, 2-1 again yesterday. We had the over 142 in the Florida Iona game that got over pretty comfortably. The Wild 4-2 winners against the Bruins. And of course, we followed the bagman in his lead and had Brian as a loss. 4-2 to start our week. So we're happy there. Also, shout out to Dave Sharp and Matt Peralta yesterday for having me on in the Bostonian versus the book. That was a hell of a show, and met up with those guys last night at MGM Grand as we watched the second half of the Rutgers Notre Dame double OT game. Finally got to meet Julian Edlow from Massachusetts, working for DraftKings, does amazing work and content there. If you're not following him, please go over there. Shout out to Matty P for giving me a ride back to my place. That was awesome. Had a great talk, and the kid is sharp as a tack, and his visions are spot on, and big things hopefully brewing there. So without further ado, let's bring him in, the man from the palm tree state. And I got palm trees here. I also got a lazy pool. I got another big pool. I got hot tubs everywhere. Mr. Scott E. Webb. Good morning, Scott.
Yeah, it's nice, right? I mean, it's good to have palm trees and sunshine and pools and stuff. I don't have lazy pools, and I don't have hot tubs, but I have pools. I have palm trees. I have good weather, let's see what yesterday. What I gave out 2 NBA plays. They both won, so that's good. It's going into a one game NBA game. So, and that's Detroit and Orlando. And I don't really care about any of that stuff. So, spring training games start today. People can bet on that stuff, I guess. You won't see me putting out any spring training game plays though. I mean, I know better. I look for certain other things in those things. We've talked about that a little bit here, but, it's time to get the show started, right? I mean, we got March Madness going now, and the tournament starts today. And well, theoretically, it starts today. I mean, it started a couple of days ago with the play-in games or whatever. But today's the big day. Today's when your brackets count anyway, for whatever brackets you got out there, and baseball starts today. So. I don't know. I was looking at pregame. Somebody bet $250 on one of the games already. So it is what it is.
Matt Peralta said it best when he was talking. He lived in Boston forever, and then he's been up in Vegas for a long time now. And I was talking about the winter this year that we've had. We've had a kind of an ugly winter. We had that one big storm with over 2 feet. We've had a few 6-8 inches. Cold, windy, raw. He goes, listen, Jeff, you can't shovel heat, he says. Get your ass out west, he said. So I thought that was funny. The bagman, whoa, he took it. That's the funny thing with, endless, I guess, money is you step to the window confident on Saturday. You blast 5 games at 40K each, and you go, 5-0. You're sitting there plus 200K. You get to the window on Sunday, and I think you went 2-3. You give some of it back, whatever it was, and then you lay low in the weeds, and then you don't fire once, but you fire twice, maybe trying to build that and increase that bankroll for the madness. And I talked about that this week. I was like, don't empty the bankroll and then be sitting there when the dance starts and you're sitting on the sidelines moping, sitting at the punch bowl.
Yeah, I think that there's a couple of things we probably ought to talk about here while we're talking about the bad guy and and some of the stuff that we see and some of the tickets and some of the stuff you hear on VSIN or whatever radio shows you listen to and you see these guys putting big money out there. So first of all, it's a couple of things to note. So if there's somebody that comes into a sports book and they're a marked player that is a good player, they're limited already. They're not going to be able to go in there and pay $500,000 on a game. That's number one. So the guys that are getting to be able to put down the 200,000s, the 150,000s, the 200,000s, the 500,000s on these games are people that the sports book has marked as somebody that it's okay. They might beat us, but it's okay to take the money from these guys because there's a good likelihood they're on the wrong side. So these are different things that you got to be really cognizant of and be very careful on what you're following. And I say that because the truth is these mattress Mac guys and these guys that go out and throw all this money around and put all this money down, they're not professional gamblers. They're just out there throwing stuff around and doing things for other different purposes and all this other stuff. Mattress Mac does things to offset sales that he runs in his stores. So he's trying to cover that stuff. So anyway, all that being said, just be careful because the truth of the matter is you're following these big bets. You're not following the sharpest guys in the shed. So you got to be careful and you gotta do, you gotta listen to Jeff a little bit on some of these line moves and some of the things that happen, because the truth of the matter is lines do move and they move for specific reasons. Sometimes they move because the right guy went in and made a bet and they go, holy shit, we're off on this line. So this guy just showed us that. So we're going to move it. Other times they move a line because they go, well, shit, this is the right way we want it to go, and this isn't going to happen. Let's just keep moving the number and keep getting the money piling up, and we're just going to walk away with a big purse here. So they do things for lots of different reasons. Now, on the outside looking in, that's not necessarily, we have to go by what is best in terms of information that we have. And then make the best decision that we can based off the information we have. We're never going to have 100% of the information unless you're behind the book. So or behind the counter. I'm sorry. So the reality of it is, be very careful what you choose to pick and choose to follow, because the truth is, if you're following big wagers, two things. One, you're following the wagers after somebody's already bet it. So you're not getting necessarily real-time odds, and the lines may have moved since then. So you're not getting the same number they got. And number two, you're also betting into a lot of times someone who you probably shouldn't be following in the first place.
So much to follow up off of that. And it's so true, for like myself, when we started 7 years ago, we were locked into Sports Insights. We've been locked in with Sports Insights since day one. Since then, we've added Don Best. We've added wagertalk.com. We've always had Ken Palm in the college hoop side. We've added pregame, and you have to trust your eyes, but you get that gut feeling when you start to get comfortable in what you're reading and seeing. With social media, I think today it's more of a detriment because it just clouds up the mind. I talk about the ammonia bottle underneath my kitchen sink, and when I wake up in the morning, I take a big swig, not swig, but smell of that just to clear the membranes, when I look at the overnight moves and stuff and get a clear look at it. And again, it's hard for the beginner because I always talk about this is when someone reaches out to me and they're interested in signing up for the VIPs, they want to say, hey, well, do you got your record for the last 30 days? What are you the last 2 weeks? And I say to them, we have paid an accountant since day one. So I have 7 years, 3 months, and 17 days of actual spreadsheet, open in line, what we paid for, win, loss, the whole 9 yards. Okay. And I think the reality that everyone has to think is this: it's not the time to go run into and sign up for someone if they just coming off a 17-3 heater. It's numbers, and there is going to be regression. You're better off going, do your homework, go with people that have been here a long time. Be there with people that are showing their faces on a daily basis, that are out on social media, answering questions, educating, not entertaining. I always say this tongue in cheek, but you don't see me on TikTok, twerking and shaking, and no one wants to see that anyways, and I say it comically, but the bright smiles and stuff, I get it. They get clicks, they get impressions. I mean, who the hell wants to click on my ugly mug? But the fact of the matter is, we're here to educate. Okay. Hey, you see something, I see something, you do something your way, I do it my way. What makes us so powerful and strong is the fact that when we come together and we're on the same side of the game, I think we're hitting it at like 82% of something stupid. So that's the beauty of what you and I do versus what 95% of the others don't do.
Well, there's more than one way to win at this level. There's they have terms for all these people, and where they are and what they do and all this kind of stuff. And it doesn't matter what terminology that you use. The truth of the matter is that you just got to find your niche of what you do and then do it well. I dabble with understanding what the markets do. I don't do it as much as you do. And I don't let it influence me as much as you do. And you base all most of your things off of that. And I do most of my stuff off of data, numbers, and science and things like that. So, and you don't get into that. I mean, you like the numbers, you just don't. It's just a different way of doing things. So there are times when you and I are on opposites. It happens a lot. But there's also times when we're on the same thing. And when we're on the same thing, a lot of times there's some pretty good results that way. Now, that being said, that doesn't mean that I'm rooting against you or that you're rooting against me. It's just different viewpoints and different ways of doing things. And what's great about our shows and great about our ability to work together is that there is no animosity. We want each other both to win. And not only do we want each other both to win, we're proud of the work that we do. We're proud of the content that we put out. And I think that that comes across in our shows. And I think that the people that are listening obviously don't see what I do a lot just because I just do these NBA numbers right now, but they'll see a whole bunch of what I do in baseball coming up. But the truth of the matter is that they get the opportunity to pick and choose what they want. And I think that that's what's important, because if you just got some guy coming on here, and I've seen this, and I look at some of the other shows that are available to people to go click on, and they go, that guy will just come on and go, well, today we're gonna take I don't know, we're gonna take Orlando -4 today because Detroit they played 2 games over here and they did this or they did that, and Orlando's just a better team, so we're gonna play them -4 today. Okay, well, what the hell does that mean? It's there's got to be an understanding of what you're doing. Let me put it to you this way: if you're gonna bet on Orlando -4 today, then you need to understand what your odds are on that bet. What's your probability of winning that bet? Whether you get that probability from how many people are betting into the line and moving the number or not moving the number, or you get your probability from the data part of it and the prediction of what your score is going to be, you need to know what you're doing. Because if you listen to some guy and that guy just goes, we're going to take Orlando today -4, and you just go, okay, he knows what he's talking about. I'm going to take him -4 today. He might turn around and tomorrow do the same ship, the same way, the same thing, and give you another loser and have no idea what he's doing. But it's your money, and it's your investments that you need to make, and you need to make them based on an understanding of knowing what you're betting on and what the probabilities of winning your bet are, because that's what pros do. Pros have an understanding of what their probability is, and they're not going to go and they're not going to make poor wagers based on the probability of the outcome of that wager.
Talked yesterday, about I like using this phrase, Vegas playing Jedi mind tricks. 2 days ago, Oregon opened up +5.5 at Utah State, box to wire. Yesterday in the NIT, I says, there's no way in holy hell Dayton should be 1.5 point underdogs at Toledo, box to wire by Dayton. But again, that opens the eyes to the sharps saying, Vegas must know something what's going on there. And the public just skips to their loo and cashes the ticket there. But with that said, already 20 minutes in here. Let's just talk quickly. Freddie Freeman, I kind of sort of talked all along the fact that he goes to the Dodgers, they offer him X, and then he goes to Atlanta saying, hey, do you want to match it? Obviously, Atlanta makes some moves, says thanks, but no thanks. And then the AL East gets hot, heavy, and horny, and every team in the East but Baltimore's in on him. And, of course, next – he signs with the Dodgers. The rich get richer. Their lineup gets longer. Correa, the last big piece out there. Then the rest will fall into place. Thoughts on Freeman to the Dodgers? Their lineup is just put it this way, if it's good to have a sore arm if you're heading to LA, put it that way. Coach, I'm not feeling that well. Got a little stomach ache today. I think I'll take the pass, and I'll see you in 5 days.
Well, let's remember what division they play in. So they got the Rockies in their division, and the Rockies aren't going to be competitive. I mean, they signed Chris Bryant, and I think they're in on
Does he pitch now?
Pitch? Well, I would say the Rockies' best solution is their pitchers, to be honest. They got German out there, whatever the hell that guy's name is, and he's pretty good. And, they've got a couple of other guys that can pitch with Cinderella and with whatever that other guy's name is off the top of my head, was hurt most of the time, but they got some guys that can pitch. So and at least give them innings, and they're not sitting there, having to throw a bunch of relief pitchers. But they're not an offensive juggernaut by any stretch of the imagination. And Trevor Story is not around anymore. So, and I would almost be willing to tell you that Trevor Story is the better player over Chris Bryant. So I don't think that I'm in love with that Chris Bryant signing out of the Rockies. I think that that's just a big splash move. And hey, look what we did. So anyway, you got that team that's out there. You got the Diamondbacks out there, and the Diamondbacks are just terrible. They can't pitch or hit. So you got 2 teams that are just no good at all, and then you have San Francisco who actually gave everything they could give last year, and I don't think you're going to see that out of them again this year. Now they've done some amazing things, and I think that they'll still be a 500 or just a little bit above 500 kind of team. And then you got the Padres, who everybody thinks is this great baseball team. and the Padres just aren't a great baseball team. They have brought in some talent. They've got some guys that can throw, but those guys got hit last year, so why aren't they going to get hit again? They got Blake Snell, who can't pitch past 5 innings anymore. So, yeah, I mean, it's one of these scenarios where, okay, so it's all the Dodgers. That it doesn't matter even really if they signed Freeman or not. They were going to win that division without him. Now, that being said, it is still the National League, and in the National League, they're going to have to try to beat Milwaukee if that's who comes out, because they got some great pitching, and if Milwaukee can do anything with the bats, that would be great for them. They got St. Louis in that same division, who I still think is a contender, even though I haven't seen that coming out of the projections so far. And then you've got the Mets and the Braves, right? So the Dodgers have to really contend with the Mets and the Braves, if that's what we're going to really talk about. And then I look at this lineup, and you got Betts to lead off or Turner to lead off, but they've been using Betts. So Roster Resource says, okay, well, let's do it this way. It's going to be Betts and then Turner and then Freddie Freeman. And then you got Justin Turner, Max Muncy, Will Smith. And then you got Chris Taylor, Cody Bellinger, and AJ Pollock. That's a pretty damn good lineup. And it's pretty damn good all the way through. I mean, there's no easy outs. There's no automatic outs. There's guys that put the ball in play. Sure, there's strikeouts in there, just like every other team. But there's also lots of power. There's lots of extra base hits in that lineup. But here's my concern for the Dodgers. The Dodgers have Walker Buehler as their ace now. Well, Walker Buehler didn't have an ace-type season last year, and I'm not going to suggest that he's washed or anything like that, because he's only 27 years old. So he should be in the prime of his career. Julio Urias led the league in wins last year. He was the only 20-game winner of all of baseball, and he's not a 20-game winner type pitcher. He's a great pitcher, don't get me wrong. But he's their number 2. And then you got Clayton Kershaw. Okay, well, we all know Clayton Kershaw is a good pitcher. And if he's in the 3rd slot, he's going to be a favorite over most guys he's going to throw against. But then you got Tony Gonsolin and Andrew Heaney. Okay, well, the back end of that rotation is not that strong. And if you really think about it, if Walker Buehler is not Walker Buehler of old, where he can go and match up against Max Scherzer or go up against Jacob deGrom or any of the Milwaukee Brewers pitchers, the reality is that they're going to have to outscore the better teams in baseball because their pitching staff doesn't match up. Now they got a great bullpen, and they got a lot of arms out there, but their back end bullpen's not that good either. So this is a team with holes, even though they're a good team. And I thought it was interesting that neither one of the Fangraphs or Baseball Prospectus had anybody projected to win over 100 games. I think that says a lot.
All right. It's time. I'm just going to go over the brackets. Well, not the brackets, some of the games today in the tournament. I have to say this out loud now. When my spidey senses get woken up, I get nervous, and I just want to throw this out to anyone here that wants to listen. We don't sleep here, okay? We are very well connected in Vegas. We have great sources, and my eyes don't lie, okay? So you have all these games today, and everyone at some point has the big dog winning or being competitive. You listen to these experts, and they're talking already 2nd and 3rd round. Well, this is going to be a great matchup. We don't know if you're going to get out of the 1st round. I'm going to say this out loud, Yukon Nation. I have not heard one person, experts, social media, wherever you go to get your information, not one expert say the name New Mexico State. Now, every other game today, someone in this planet and universe has said there's going to be an upset. Everyone's on Vermont. beating Arkansas. The whole world's on South Dakota State to beat Providence. Murray State is now a 2-point favorite because the San Francisco, one of their best players, is out. The list is endless. I have not heard New Mexico State once. Yet UConn technically opened at 7, went right to 6.5. Hasn't moved. Their money line is minus 300, and New Mexico State is plus 240. Now, I will tell you, I am in a big, big, big suicide pool. We bought 2 entries, and it's just pick a team one day. You can't pick them again in the rest of the tournament. And if they win, you move on to Friday and so forth. And as the brackets get shorter, it's like NASA trying to maneuver this thing. On Tuesday, I had to put our picks in. My partner knows squadouche about basketball. The only thing he knows is how to maneuver these damn brackets. We put UConn in both times. They just got to win. It's not to cover. They just got to win. Survive in advance. I got my UConn shirt on today, boys. I am scared shitless. I have not heard New Mexico State once.
Well, we're showing at pregame $106,000 on the game and 69% of the money, 52% of the tickets on New Mexico State.
All right. Well, that again, a lot of people, what they'll do is just blindly play all the dogs. So that's a little soothing, at least, because everyone's got UConn in the Sweet 16 against Gonzaga already, and they haven't even unpacked their bags, for the first game. So I'm just telling everyone I'm nervous there. So just beware there. I'm just looking at a few of the games, what I'm hearing out here, what I'm seeing. I've been a big fan of Richmond, rotation number 739, 740. That's been steamed up to 10.5. Iowa, Big Ten conference champs, rolling. And as a former coach, my point is this. They got a couple extra games versus Richmond, though, did win their conference to get in as well. The point is it's hard to get to that level again. Now, Iowa, instead of being the hunter, is now the huntee. I know it's the big dance, one and done. The fact is that this thing got steamed to 10.5. I think Richmond's a live dog. Maybe they play a good first half. They run out of gas. Obviously, if Iowa's hitting the 3, they could put up 100. The under-over is at 150. It is an Iowa number. But what are you seeing in that game, Scott?
We got $100,000 on the game. 58% of the money's on Richmond. 56% of the tickets is on Iowa.
I think if you wait closer to tip-off, you can get plus 11. And for shits and giggles, pizza and beer money, sprinkle a little pizza and beer money on Richmond there. As I said, the whole world's on South Dakota, rotation number 741, 742. Again, Providence, the luck box team of the nation. Big East regular season champs. They bow out in the tournament. A team no one's given any respect. This South Dakota State, and this is more of a Scotty number. I think they're ranked 4th in offensive efficiency in the nation. I like Providence money line. I don't like the 2.5. Providence plays a lot of close games. I don't want to get hooked. I don't want to walk off 3 to cover, miss free throw. I like Providence money line minus 130 there.
This is the second highest bet game so far of the tournaments. Well, even of the day, put it that way. I mean, there's nothing going on in the NBA today. There's $306,000 on this game so far. 55% of the money, 52% of the tickets on South Dakota State.
Yeah, the whole world is on them. So it was funny. We were at the MGM Grand last night, and there was one Notre Dame fan. The whole world was on Rutgers. I backed off for Rutgers. I leaned them. I liked them all week. They just became that public trendy dog that I wanted no part of. And South Dakota State, hands down, is not even up for debate, is the number one public trendy dog today. So I'm on Providence money line there. One of the most, a good friend, Patrick Everson, now with Props US, just tweeted out the three most heavily played games. The first one is Michigan, rotation number 727, 728. I'm seeing 2.5-point favorites here against Colorado State, Scott.
Yeah, this is the number one bet game on pregame. $407,000, so $100,000 more than the second highest one. 56% of the money, 56% of the tickets on Michigan.
A lot of the sharps, a lot of the numbers guys really like Colorado State here. You can get them plus 2.5, plus 120 on the money line. Longwood, Tennessee, really don't have a feel for that. San Francisco, Murray State, rotation number 731, 732. San Fran opened up 2-point favorites, 1.5-point dogs. Again, one of their best players is out. A Murray State team that I think is 30-2. I loved the Dons early. I'm going to stay away now with him being out. I still wouldn't be shocked to see the Dons win. I think Murray State is a big, big popular public play as well.
This one's only got 96,000 on it right now, and 64% of the money and 68% of the tickets are all on Murray State.
Yeah. So again, like South Dakota State, Murray State is again a big public play. St. Peter's, Kentucky, no feel there. No feel, Norfolk, Baylor. Marquette, UNC, 725, 726. UNC opens up at 3 under over a 152.5, minus 160 on the money line. Shocker and Marquette are not coming in form. UNC is in form. I think it's going to be one of the better competitive games. I lean Marquette in the points. I'm not a strong lean there. If UNC gets out and gets going, it's off to the races there. With that 152.5 under over, it is a UNC number. Again, I lean Marquette. I'm going to stay away for now. Again, I could see UNC winning by double digits. I could see Marquette winning this game outright.
First of all, good morning, Marty. Thanks for checking in. And then second, in this game, we got $137,000 on this one. 64% of the money, 60% of the tickets, all on North Carolina.
Yeah, they love their baby blue there. Again, it's a tough spot. If I knew the Marquette team was coming into form, I would be all in on Marquette. UNC's been playing some good ball of late, so I'm going to stay away there. Good morning, Marty. Hope all is well, and I hope the Patriots don't decide to take a shot with peanut brittle Julio Jones either. So, Kansas, Texas Southern, no feel there. Creighton, San Diego State. Love this game. Rotation number 737, 738. San Diego State opened up 2.5-point favorites. Again, guys, I'll say this, and again, each person is different. But I will say this. When there's a 2.5-point spread, and people will play the 2.5, and because why? It's minus 110 juice. For me, I just want to win, baby, if I like a team with a 2.5-point spread, if the money line is fair. Here it's stating San Diego State is minus 135. They'll say, Jeff, well, why would you spend the minus 135 when you can get them at 2.5? Well, San Diego State, again, a team that plays a lot of close games. Okay. I don't want it to land on 1 or 2 and have them win the game and not cover. Okay. It's not about winning the games. It's about covering and cashing. Okay. I definitely lean San Diego State on the money line, minus 135.
Let me just say this for a second, because I think people in our lanes have gotten used to the idea that, look, if you're a professional or if you're giving out plays, you can't give out minus 130s. Let me tell you this, because this is going to blow your mind. People in our lanes, they actually bet minus 170, 175, 180. They bet minus 200. They bet minus 300. The reason they do that is because in that situation, they believe that their probability of winning the bet is higher than what they're having to pay. It doesn't matter what the odds numbers are, guys. If you're going to pay 150, 160, 175, you better have a winning probability of say minus 200 on your side, because then you're actually getting the better number. So don't be afraid to bet minus 150, 160, 170, 130, 140, whatever it is. So I just want to make sure that's very clearly spoken, because the truth of the matter is there's a fallacy around all of this stuff about not betting minus 150 or minus 140 or minus 130. So you can do it, and you should be doing it. And if you're not doing it, you're missing out. You just have to understand why you're doing it. And if you don't understand why you're doing it, you're not following the right people. Okay, now, having said that, $124,000 on this game, Jeff, and it looks like it's 50-50 here. It's 51% of the money's on Creighton and 60% of the tickets is on Creighton, but the money's about even.
All right. I like the Aztecs. It's not going to be one of those run and hide games, so get your Tums or whatever, because it's going to be one of those games. Nothing on the Zags. Rotation number 745, 746. Memphis, Boise State. All week leaned Memphis. A lot of the shops are on the other side, Boise State. Again, I've talked at length about this Memphis team. If they come to play, they run and hide and they take care of business. If they get into that grab ass and they got a sleepwalking, Boise State will run them off the court. I got an opening number of 2.5 with a 133.5. Memphis is minus 145 on the money line. So again, they're showing 2.5 here. So let me just state this here. You got a 2.5 point favorite with Memphis, yet they're minus 145 on the money line. Okay. You got a 2.5 point favorite with Michigan against Colorado State. They're a 145. Yet Providence is a 2.5 and a 130. So again, when I talked about the real public play in San Diego State, again, all these guys playing South Dakota State, in the money line. So when you look at a spread, take a look at the money line, then take a look at the rest of the board. You can get a feel for where the dogs are really getting played, not just in the spread, but on the money lines as well.
Well, that matters in the line that the book puts out, because they need to offset some of that stuff. So think about if you're a business manager and you have monies coming in on the money line that the public doesn't see, then you have to change the line so that you can get enough action on the line to offset if that underdog does win. So a lot of times that's what you're going to see the games be played with, these numbers and stuff. So there's reasons why numbers move that I guess a lot of people don't understand. And again, the truth of the matter is it's your money. And if you don't understand what you're doing when you walk to the window to put a wager down, you're doing it wrong. You need to know what you're doing and why you're doing what you're doing. You need to understand that, because if you don't go to the window. That's not going to the window with conviction. It's not. That's going to the window going, God, I hope this happens and shit. It would be great. I could go buy my wife a dress or whatever. The truth of the matter is that's not how you do it. You don't do it that way. Sure, you can go have fun, and if you got a couple $100 to just throw out there and stuff, and you don't want to go to a show while you're in Vegas and you just want to put it down on this, great, no problem. It's you're not even thinking about what you're doing. You're just, okay, whatever. I get it. That's just throwing a dice. But if you're doing it like what we're doing and kind of how we're doing it, there's a reason why you do everything or you don't do it at all. And that's just a consistent theme that you need to be able to understand what you're doing. And that doesn't matter if you're playing a preseason baseball game or if you're playing an NBA championship game. Every single time you take your money and you put it over and hand it to that teller on the other side, you need to have an understanding of why you just did that. And if you don't, then don't do it. And in that game, Memphis, Boise State, $191,000, 54% of the money and 59% of the tickets on Memphis.
Keep an eye on Boise State. Again, if I'm not an in-game preacher here, but again, if you're on Memphis, keep an eye on that early. You'll see what team showed up And the same with Boise State there. I think consensus is Boise State here. I really do. But I know deep down if Memphis shows up, they should have no problem handling Boise State. So keep an eye on that one. Last game that I'm really looking at is Indiana St. Mary's. Indiana wins the play-in game. Big Ten now is down to 8 teams with Rutgers losing. Rotation number 747, 748. If it's blank here, I'm assuming St. Mary's -3, was it?
I got St. Mary's -2.5 on pregame.
Okay.
It could have been -3, but they're showing an opening number of -2.5, a current number of -2.5. They're showing $98,000 on the game, 54% of the money, 57% of the tickets on Indiana. And I've always found this one hard to handicap because it's the play-in game and they've already played. So that in my mind, that doesn't mean they're tired. In my mind, that means that they're comfortable. And if I was going to make any kind of wager on a game like this, I would take the team that played before and I would give them a fighter's chance in the first half.
And the only other downside people were talking about is the fact that Indiana then had to travel cross country to Oregon to get ready for this game. I had said this on a few shows yesterday. I'm going to reiterate it, is the Big Ten got 9 teams in. And what you usually see in the big dance is the teams that got the conferences that got less teams in. You know, the Pac-12 is always one of those conferences that had a bad year, and next thing you know, you got a USC in the Elite Eight or the Sweet Six or the Final Four. You know, obviously this year you got UCLA and Arizona in the Pac-12. The fact of the matter is, you know, you'll be sitting here Monday, and after the carnage, you could have, 4 teams left in the Big Ten. It's just how it happens, The ACC is down this year. Everyone waiting on Duke. And, is what game will be Krzyzewski's last game coached, And obviously I'm a big East fan. I think they have some good swings. I think Nova is dangerous. They're sitting in the weeds. My Yukon Huskies, I'm scared poopless, as I said, to start the show today. I'll feel more comfortable if they get by on Saturday against Arkansas or Vermont. And then they could be staring at Goliath with the Zags next week. But guys, it's the first day of the dance. Don't get caught up in the hysteria or the madness. Okay. It's something that you just want to enjoy. If you like 5 games today and you're $100 better, don't put $100 on all 5 games. Don't put that bankroll at a $550 risk. Okay. You can break it down in tip-offs. Maybe you could sprinkle in a couple parlays, and instead of having $550 invested, maybe have $200 invested, where your 2 strong plays, you put, $100 or $50 each on them, and then sprinkle in the rest of your plays with parlays, just in case you have a bad day. Hate to see you go 0-5 today, and then your bankroll's diminished. And then, of course, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you would have won 11-1, but you had no bullets left in the bank, in the holster there. So have fun, enjoy these games. It's madness. There's going to be buzzer beaters. There's going to be Cinderellas. There's going to be bracket busters, whatever logo term you want to say. It's here. Scotty, closing thoughts.
I think that I've said probably enough about a lot of this stuff, but I will say I'm going to reiterate a couple of things. There's a big difference in what pros do and what novices do. And novices believe a lot of stuff that they believe in for the reasons that they become novices. So when I tell you certain things and I tell you that it's okay to bet -150, 160, 175, I truly mean that. And if you're not doing it, you're not doing it right. You should have those wagers in your portfolio. They should be there. I'm not telling you that those should be the majority of your wagers. I'm telling you should be making them. Now, that all being said, I will say this. I'm excited. What do we got? We got the Minnesota Twins and the Boston Red Sox today, and we got the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Colorado Rockies today. nobody knows who's even going to be playing on those teams today. But if you're kind of into this stuff, there's a couple of things I would tell you. What's going to be a little different about Major League Baseball spring training this year is the shortened amount of time they have to get ready. So hitters usually take anywhere from 50 to 80 at bats to be ready to go for the season. And if you think about it, if they're only going to be playing, I don't know, let's just say they play anywhere from 15 to 20 games. Those guys are going to be hitting a lot. So that means your starters are going to play a lot more than what you normally would have seen them play. And I would also tell you that the starting pitchers are going to jump in early, and they are going to throw 3 innings, 2 to 3 innings. They're going to throw 45 to 50 pitches for day one. And that's a different thing. So if you're actually going to try to wager on spring training games, I don't advise that. But if you're going to try to do that, this will be the season that will be as close to a normal regular season as possible that you could do it.
All righty. So let the games begin. Crazy slate. I didn't even talk about NHL yet today. I'll get to that later at some point. I'll put them up on my timeline. The thought process here is to head over to Westgate, see the Kelly Stewart and CT Betts, Mr. Chris and the crew. Watch a little of the games there. Get to meet beating the books. Rob, going to meet him today, and a few others. Catch up with Sharapan and them later tonight. But it's a day to enjoy, to embrace. It's St. Patty's Day, so if you get a little tipsy with the corned beef and cabbage and the Guinnesses, you might want to back off the app on the late night games here, guys. So
I didn't even put on green today.
What's that?
I didn't even put on green. Shit. I need to put a damn green shirt on.
There you go. So everyone investing and wagering today, always do this responsibly. If you have a problem, pick up the phone. There's an 800 number available. Ask for help. Why? Myself and Scotty care. We want to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. For myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from Scotty Webb at Webby20 MLB, we wish everyone a blessed day. Enjoy and embrace the madness, and we will see you soon.